Thank you all for coming here to listen to my speech. My name is Dylan Loh, and I'm here to talk about one of the major problems in today's society and how we can prevent it. This problem is not only causing fear, but it is also causing people, as well as kids, to lose their lives. This worldwide problem that is ripping through the hearts of families and through the souls of parents is gun violence and shootings. Just think about this. Every day, 96 Americans are killed by guns, and 46 children and teens are shot in murders, assaults, suicides, unintentional shootings, and police intervention. Just think about that. Try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. If you had a kid, imagine never getting to see him or her again. Or if you are a kid, imagine never getting to see your loved ones again. I'll never be able to imagine the pain and suffering that comes with this. I'm not here to talk about the grief that comes from losing a family member, though. I'm here to talk about how preventing gun violence and mass shootings are so within reach. And although it is physically impossible to completely prevent all shootings, I hope together as a nation we begin to snap out of the little shell we are in and realize the importance of keeping guns in the right hands of people. This leads me to our first big point of this talk, which is keeping guns out of the wrong hands of dangerous people, which include the mentally ill, criminals, domestic abusers, and many more. And this also includes kids. Kids like me and you are finding ways to get their hands on guns, whether it be through private gun shows, online websites, or anything like that. This is completely wrong, and this is how a portion of these tragic incidents are happening. And the numbers don't lie. There has been a surprising uprise in how many kids have actually gotten guns illegally. For example, U.S. students have been caught with a firearm at least 1,576 times during 2015 and 2016, and over half of these guns have been bought illegally. And though we cannot stop these people from buying guns, we can all appreciate how effective the Brady Bill, or better known as Brady background checks, have been. From over a span of 23 years, Brady background checks have stopped 3 million gun sales all over the world. That's 3 million guns that dangerous people would have been holding in their hands right now. I cannot stress enough how important these background checks are. In fact, about 90% of all Americans support universal background checks and would still want to increase them. And although these background checks have been so effective, we still cannot stop the other 1,000 gun sales that are happening privately every day without a background check. 1 in 5 every American citizen buys a gun without having to give a background check, which leads us to think about the 360 million guns in homes all over America. But thank goodness, we can all appreciate that more than 3/4 of all homeowners with guns are law-abiding people. This does not mean, though, for all the people who have guns in your house, that you should not take precautions, though, because anything can happen. This is another big precaution that you should take, and this goes out to all the homeowners who have guns. Make sure you take care of your guns. Although this may sound simple, there have just been so many stories of kids that are so sneaky and they find ways not only to harm themselves, but harm others with guns of their parents. One example of this happening is with the horrible occasion that occurred at Sandy Hook. The shooter's name was Adam Lanza, and he brought all of the guns from home. He shot and killed 28 kids and adults, including his mom. This is a picture of all the victims, and let's take a moment to remember this tragic incident. This just shows the extent of how not taking a precaution could lead to something like this. Well, now enough of me talking about shootings. Now, we will move on to the 2 precautions that specifically you parents can take to prevent things like this from happening. The first step is to always be aware of what your kids are doing. Every day, just check what they are doing and make it a constant reminder to keep up with their life, because a lot of these shootings have to do with emotions. Another precaution that you can take if you are a homeowner who has a gun is to get a gun safe. A gun safe is to ensure that only you, the user, can access the gun as well as the ammunition. Many people don't have a gun safe, and this can be such a big problem because they just leave the guns out in a drawer or on the table. And this is how you hear all these stories of little kids shooting themselves accidentally or shooting others. These are just some of the simple steps we can take to prevent things like this from happening. It all starts with you, and that is the only way that the number of deaths by gun violence can start decreasing. One more topic that I would want to cover in this talk is the gun lobby's unjust rules. Although many people will say, oh, we need to change the laws for guns, they're so unfair, they're not actually doing anything. Because if you strongly and truly believe in something, you will make a change. And even after all these shootings, the gun lobby's rules have gone largely unnoticed. This all changed after the shooting in Florida. Now kids are standing up for themselves, and they have been making a huge impact. The gun lobby has no way to defend themselves, and they have just been cowering away. And you know what? They should, because they have nothing to defend themselves. In fact, just to show you how unfair the gun lobby's rules are, listen to this. The corporate gun lobby has spent billions of dollars with a B on blocking smart gun technology to prevent little kids from shooting themselves accidentally, blocking the CDC from doing research into the public health epidemic of gun violence, as well as blocking pediatricians from being able to talk about the dangers of keeping guns at home. And the gun lobby is very desperate to hide these facts because they know that simply they are wrong. And now, as we start back to the beginning of the speech, which is how we can take precautions to prevent some of these mass shootings at malls and schools, we come down to one basic. This basic is that everything starts with you. Taking all these little steps, as well as standing up for your own rights, starts with you. And your actions and precautions can help not only save other lives, but it can also save the world by giving us a dream which we all want, which is the dream of a safer world. A world where we do not have to cower in fear every second of our lives worried of getting shot. A world where we do not have to worry about gun violence and shootings. A world where we can simply have peace, love, and happiness. Thank you.